Okay. So we are going to talk about fun recruiting and tools. All right. So this is an honest conversation just between us and the leaders, right? You are leaders, future leaders. You are people that are invested in your business. And so one of the most important and one of the best things you can do as a leader is to be honest with yourself. If something isn't working, to be honest with yourself about and be like, you know what, I want to do this in my business. It's not working for me right now, right? I want to be more efficient on my social media. It's not working for me and I'm not sure where to go from here. When you can put into words things that you're kind of stumbling on in your business, you will get so far. You will go so far just being able to verbalize, like, this is what I'm struggling with. And sometimes you can't put it into words, right? You're not sure where the disconnect is, right? But that's why we're here. That's why your leaders are here, to help you kind of just like analyze it, you know, and just kind of be like, okay, so this is the result that you want. These are the things you've tried. And this is what's been happening. So let's see if we can't flip the script and come at it from a different direction, right? So what I want to know in the chat is, what's holding you back from recruiting? If you're struggling with recruiting, what's holding you back from recruiting? Is it you? I will be honest, there are times when what's holding me back from recruiting is I'm literally just not putting the time into it, right? I know the things I need to do, right? I've been doing this a while. I've recruited lots of people over the years, but I'm just not carving out that time to specifically work on that, right? And for me, I have to do that because otherwise I get sucked into all these other things going on, right? Sorry, I just saw the chat. Sudi asking if I have a small mirror for my lipstick. No, I actually turn my phone around and look at it. Or I put my laptop on FaceTime so I can put my lipstick on before I get on things. Or sometimes that's why I'm usually the first one on, right? So I can take care of those things, right? All right, so tell us in the chat, what is holding you back from recruiting? Oh, I got some stuff. All right, what we got here? People saying no or later, or I don't know. Yes, all valid. I could probably give it more time. Fair. That, like I said, that is my number one thing that I do wrong with recruiting when I'm not recruiting. Gina says scared and word choices. Fair. Absolutely. I don't like starting conversations that I don't know how to respond to depending upon where it goes. I completely understand that. Scared of no's. Absolute. It's yourself currently is what's holding you back, Carrie. Okay. Again, fair. It's absolutely fair. Vicky says, I'm not used to asking people to do things. I'll do things myself. Oh, Vicky, girl of my own heart. I'm telling you. Like, I don't want, like, not only do I not want people to say no, I don't want them to say yes and then not do it. And then I'm just like, oh, forget it. I'll just do it myself. All right. So I completely get that. Sabella says, I'm not meeting people, no parties. And when I do meet people, I'm afraid to sound like a salesperson and talk about my business. Again, completely valid. These are all valid things that can hold you back from recruiting, right? However, what I want you to do is we're going to kind of simplify it here tonight, right? You can get into like nitty gritty recruiting. And as you kind of grow in the business, you will get better and better and better at recruiting, just like you will at dating parties, at talking about the products, as even bringing Tupperware up into conversations, right? You will get better and better. But in the beginning, don't worry about being perfect. Don't go after the big fish. Don't go after that type of stuff. Go after the lowest hanging fruit, because, it goes back to what came first, confidence or success, right? Success breeds confidence, but do you need to have the confidence in order to have the success, right? Do you need to have the confidence to take those first steps? And so then it's that, what's first, the chicken or the egg, right? And so you get into this sort of like circle going around of, I want to be successful in the business, but I don't have confidence to do the steps that I need to do to be successful. But then once you get a success under your belt, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that, right? So it's important to just kind of do the things anyways, right? One, we're going to simplify it, go after the lowest hanging fruit. And two, to take the actions that you need to take. That's the only way. I said to Joni right at the beginning of this call, I said, what is it? The way out is through, right? So the way to your goals is through this hurdle, is through the act of recruiting, right? To be a leader, to continue being a leader. Some of you are leaders, but you're still faltering with recruiting. And sometimes you get into a slump. Okay. And that you need to understand is acceptable too. Sometimes you get into a slump and it doesn't matter who you ask, how you ask them, their answer is no. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? Do I smell like what's happening? Why is everybody turning me down? Right. And it's totally real. It's a real thing. Okay. So what I want to ask you is right now, what I'm going to ask you is, who is somebody in your life that's fun? Put their name in the chat. Just put their first name. I don't need to know their names, birth dates, social security. I don't need to know that. Okay. Just put their first name in the chat. Who is somebody in your life that is fun? So I have people in my life like that. I have somebody in my life that if I see that she's RSVP'd for something, I get really excited about seeing her. She's fun and she's funny and she's confident and she makes me feel good about my choices as a parent. Like she's just awesome. Like I just adore this woman, right? So she's somebody that's on my list of people that are fun, right? This is an easy list. Again, think about like when you find out that somebody, either this person calls you and is like, hey, let's get together. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get together with you. That's their name. Put it in the chat, right? So I have two other friends that I know in a pinch will always have my back. They'll always help me. They'll grab my kids from school. They'll do those sort of things. I love getting together with them every chance I get. We're all three very busy. But I know that when we finally carve out the time to get together, I feel good. We laugh. I know they've got my back and it just feels good, right? Those are people that are fun. Those are people on my fun list, right? So, so the question is, these people that are on your fun list, right? And I'll be honest, like my sister Elizabeth, Amy's already in the business, so this doesn't really count for Amy, but my sister Elizabeth, she's fun. Like if I see she's calling, it's very rare I don't answer her call. If I don't, and even if I can't talk, I'll be like, hey, I can't talk right now. Can I call you back or whatever? Or I'll send her a text and be like, I'm eyeball deep in something. Can I call you back later? What's your schedule? Because she has a busy schedule. So we have a hard time matching up. But she's so fun. Like she makes me feel good about myself. She listens to me and the things that I'm talking about, right? So these people that are fun in your life, have you invited them to open a Tupperware account? Gina says, yes, that's great, Gina. Absolutely. Yes. And I'm not talking about like, hey, do you want to work the business? I'm saying, have you invited them to open a Tupperware account to get a discount, right? So these people that you enjoy their company, the absolute most in the world, why don't you invite them, right? Friends make things more fun. Think about when you take a walk, right? You'll go twice as far because you're talking to somebody and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we just walked 5 miles. Whereas if you're doing it by yourself, you might go 2, right? Maybe 1, maybe you won't even walk. Okay. All right. And what's more fun than going to a movie with you by yourself or going to a movie with your friends, right? Dinner. And it's the same thing in Tupperware, bringing a friend into the business so that you can have fun together and you can have this shared experience. Then they know the people that you're talking about, right? They know this part of your life. So my sister Elizabeth, who's not in the business, she had the ability one time to meet us. Actually, it was we were down in Cincinnati, Jessica, for something. I think it was like a director step up party, right? And my sister lives in Cincinnati, so she came for the night and she attended a meeting. She went out to dinner with us, and I thought and she loved every minute of it because she had heard about all these people for years, and she finally got to meet them, and then she could put a face to the name. And then when we talked, there was a level of familiarity, and that's kind of what it is like with your friend, right? Your friend that's not in Tupperware, by bringing them into this circle. I mean, many times when you ask people what they love about Tupperware, what do they say? The number one thing, I mean, I do all these interviews, right? I talk to all these people. What's the number one thing they say that they enjoy about Tupperware? Relationships. It's the friendships. It's things like that. So why wouldn't you want to share that? So, all right. So put a 1 in the chat if you've tried recruiting and it just isn't working right now, right? And you see these people getting recruits and you're like, I'm not sure what it is I'm doing wrong. but clearly it's something, right? Absolutely. Fair. Look at that. You're not alone. Absolutely. And like I said, it does happen to all of us, whether you get into a slump or maybe you've never done it yet, right? Maybe, or you've had a couple recruits, but then a lot of time's gone by and you haven't had any more, right? And so when that happens, you just kind of have to break the seal. You need to get just one recruit to kind of open those floodgates. And again, is it the success or the courage that comes first, right? The courage to act to get to that success, right? But sometimes when you just need one little success under your belt. So I want you to stop thinking about recruiting 2, 3, 4, 5, and just think about recruiting one person. That's it. That's all we're saying. One recruit. Think about recruiting just that one person. So, and a lot of times for years, we've talked about our buyers club. We've called it buyers club, VIP, opening your account, whatever it is that you want to call it. And we compare it to Costco, Sam's Club, right? And I always said, I was just like, when your girlfriend doesn't have a Sam's Club membership and you bring her along with you and you give her your discount, I'm like, you can do the same in Tupperware. And I used to, and everybody always kind of laugh and nod like, oh yeah, I've taken a girlfriend to Costco. I've taken a girlfriend to Sam's Club. Maybe they're the girlfriend tagging along with somebody else at the discount, right? And so you can give that example and be like, just like opening up a membership at Costco where you get a discount, Tupperware has that too. And as a host, you can talk to somebody and be like, hey, after your party, we can open your account. Then you can shop at your discount. You can open your account for $15. You can shop at your discount for the rest of the year. And they're like, oh, they just think it's a part of the whole party process, And so, or talking to somebody who is interested in placing an order, be like, hey, before you place that order, I want to give the option. You could open your Tupperware account and you can place your order anytime you want, go shopping online, and I can help you do that. And the other thing is too, when you think about the $15, you can get like a fast food meal for $15, right? So you can buy a fast food meal, or you can, open an account with Tupperware to get your discount. So when you think about it that way, I remember when we had, at one point we had a $5 sign-on deal. So we were like $5 footlongs, right? You'd get a footlong sandwich, you could start a business, and we made that comparison and it was silly, but people were like, oh yeah, I get it. So now I have another question for you. Now we're transitioning into tools. Okay. So put a 1 in the chat if you have seen the best for you in 2022 live on the cooking page. Just put a 1 in the chat. If you've seen it kind of come through your feed, even if you haven't watched it, I'm not saying if you've watched it, have you seen it come through your feed on that page? Yes. Okay. So some of you have seen that. And that Cooking with Tupperware page, that's where we do our cooking shows on Tuesday. Okay. So a lot of you have seen that. All right. So put a 5 in the chat if you have no idea what that is about. Like you're like, I don't even know what that is, but I see it. I haven't had time to watch it. I don't know what it's about. Right. Okay. So it looks like a lot of you know what it's about. So that's awesome. That's super exciting. That's awesome. And don't be afraid if you don't know what it's about. That's why we're here, is to kind of talk about that. And so, so what that is it is about a 20-minute recruiting event, and it's every single day, and it's on that public page. And so you can have them tune in live tomorrow. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think on Wednesday it's at noon, noon or 1. Okay. So, so you can have people tune in live, but that's a public page. So you can share directly from that page into your VIP groups. You can share directly into your parties. You can share directly into Messenger where you're having a conversation with somebody. You can send them that. You can just go on there right now, grab one of them. You grab the shortest one, longest one, the one that you watched and you just really liked. You can look at the people that are on it and be like, oh, I think the person I'm talking to might connect with Jessica. She's on that one. So I'm going to send this one over, right? And you can send that right to the people that you're talking to and just be like, hey, can you do me a favor? Watch this. I want to get your opinion. Can you watch it anytime in the next 24 hours? They say, oh yeah, I'll definitely have it. Okay, great. So I'll reach back out to you in about 24 hours. I want your opinion. I just want to see what you think. Right. And so that's perfect for, so that's perfect for if you have past customers, hosts, or friends that you think might actually be interested in the business. say, hey, I know you're probably too busy, but I have this fun thing. And I thought maybe you could use some more fun in your life too, right? I'm having a lot of fun in Tupperware. Can I invite you to? Can I share with you? Can I tag you in this video? It's about 20 minutes. So however you want to do it, and when might you have a chance? Ask, when are you going to have a chance to watch it? So then that way, when to follow back, come back around to them. And then you can even tell them if they're like, well, I'm going to watch it right now. Just be like, great. Hey, send a heart emoji when you're done, and just then that way, just let me know, give me a thumbs up, heart emoji, when you're done. And then I can, we can chat about it. And so after you send that and they watch something like that, that's a tool. Okay. After you send them a tool and they actually watch the tool, look at the tool, whatever it is. Another version of a tool would be the interviews that we do on Wednesday. Another version of a tool would be the kit papers, or, something that kind of tells more about the business, right? Those are some ideas of things that you could use, but that recruiting thing that we're doing, the best for you in 2022, that's the best tool because it's an overview of everything. So then afterwards, when you circle back to them, just ask them, hey, what did you like best? What did you like best of that? And then just say, on a scale of 1 to 10, with no interest, from 1 being no interest and 10 being sign me up, what number would you be? And 5s don't count. I always say, and 5s don't count, because people are like, a 5, and then it's just like, ugh, right in the middle. So I always say 5s don't count. And so just ask them, start asking those open-ended questions about like what they thought, and it starts that conversation. It starts that conversation, so you can start kind of talking about it. And even if they say now's not a great time, let's say, I appreciate when people say now's not a great time. Be like, I completely understand. What's holding you back? Is there anything I can help you with? And just listening as a friend. And then keep a maybe later list. Like, seriously, keep a maybe later list. I used to literally, I remember I would do this training. I'm looking for a notebook. I would do this training and people would ask me, oh, can I have your maybe later list? Like, can I have your document of maybe later list? Just so everybody knows, I'm not very good at making documents. I just learned Canva like a year ago. Okay, people. So documents. My maybe later list was a blank piece of paper that I wrote maybe later across the top, literally like a legal notepad. And I took it with me everywhere. I took it to parties. I took it to vendor events. I always had my maybe later list right there. And I just keep adding on it. So I'd have all these names. I'd be like, and I'd have right here, hey, would you like to join my maybe later list? And they're like, what's your maybe later list? And I'm like, oh, just, you can't do a party right now, but you might be interested later. The people on this list, I always give them a really, a great, I always give you a special offer if I'm contacting you off my maybe later list. And I used it primarily for parties, but then when I started using it for recruiting, that was huge too. I mean, I had somebody just the other day, she was on my maybe later list from before. So she knows what I do. And she's like, she said, yeah, I'm not interested in joining it right now. She says, but you could put me on a list for later. I might be interested later, when there's like a deal or some sort of special offer. I was like, you got it, girl. And so maybe, and that's the thing too, when you're actively putting stuff out there for recruiting, you may or may not get the recruit today, but there's something really positive that happens when you're putting that out, that energy out. You're telling the world, like, I'm recruiting right now. I'm welcoming people to my team. I'm welcoming people into my group. I'm welcoming people into Tupperware. And there's something really cool that happens. I mean, I'm right now, I'm welcoming people. Like, do I have a lot of people that are welcomed yet? No, but I'm telling you, and I'm proclaiming, I am welcoming people, right? I'm welcoming people. And so over the weekend, I was like, going through my list. I was going through my list of people, and I'm like, and sometimes my list is Facebook. I look at my Facebook friends and I'm like, do I want that person on my team? What about that person? Yeah, I like her. What about that person? Yeah, he's got a great attitude. What about that person? And I just go down my Facebook, like my friends, and I think, do I want to work with these people? Because I'm not going to ask people I don't want to work with. Like, what's the point? What's the fun in that? Right. And so I go down that list and I start checking people off, and I start doing private messages and just being like, hey, how are things going? I don't go right in with the pitch. I start the conversation, see where it goes, and then say, hey, I don't know if you've ever thought about this. I'm welcoming new people to the team right now. And I always say, do you know anybody? Because I don't like to be put on the spot, and I treat people the way I want to be treated, because I think that's just the right thing to do. And so I don't like to be put on the spot. So I always say, do you know somebody? And they'll be like, gosh, I was looking for extra income. And I'm like, jackpot. That's what I wanted. I didn't want who you know, I want you, And so it's just an easy way to kind of like work through things with people on your list. And but by doing so back to what I was saying, so this weekend I'm doing that. I'm sending out messages, not getting a lot of response. That's okay, because I know it happens. You get into a slump, people aren't really responding to you. But then out of the blue today, somebody's like, hey, Ellen, I want to join your team. And I was just like, yeah. It wasn't anybody I contacted. No, but I feel like that I have that positive energy around what it is that I'm doing. And it attracts people, it puts it out there. And I'm a firm believer in that. And whether or not you are, I don't know, but I used to call it shuffling papers. So I always had paper leads. Like I did so many shows. I always had lead slips like everywhere in my office, like everywhere. And so I always had lead slips everywhere. And so I would be going through my lead slips like for that day, and I just kind of plumb through and be like, oh, that person's never home on Tuesdays. I'll try them tomorrow. And I'm going through, and I feel like moving the papers, looking at their names, thinking about that person, thinking about who they are, thinking about those sort of things. I feel puts positive energy out there, right? Kind of like how you think about somebody and then they call you on the phone. You're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you, right? I know it's happened to all of us, And so I believe that. So I like to look at things like that. I like to look at the names of the people on my list. I like to look at the names of the people on my team. I like to do things like that. I think about them. I pray for them. I do all those things, thinking about like how amazing they are, or a struggle that they're going through, or things like that. And so I truly believe when you are actively looking for people, it's funny because the people that you're contacting aren't necessarily the ones that say yes, but then somebody out there, they contact you, or you finally contact somebody you thought would never in a million years be interested. And they're like, oh my God, yes. And you're just like, what? Really? Cool. Like, but that doesn't happen unless you're doing the actions, I'm going to check the chat real quick. So what do you do when you start a conversation in Messenger? You see they read it, no response, for recruiting and parties the book, move on. Move on. And seriously, I actually don't even look to see if people have read my messages, because I do not need that garbage in my head. Like, I don't, because sometimes people are like, oh my God, I've heard people say it. They read my message like 2 days ago and they haven't done anything. And I'm like, why are you obsessing about this? Move on, like go find somebody else. Maybe you have a message that you accidentally ignored, I know I sometimes skip over things. And so yeah, I would just move on, like go on to the next person. And sometimes, so a phrase I like to use, and I probably used it with some of you on my team. Hey, I just wanted to circle back. Right. So if I haven't heard from somebody in a week, or we had a conversation going, then all of a sudden they like totally ghosted me, I'll be like, hey, I just wanted to circle back really quick. I wasn't sure where we left this. Did you want me to send you some information? Did you want me to? And so, yeah, a couple of people use that phrase on me, like just business people used it when I was like reaching out for information. They're like, hey, I wanted to circle back. Are you still interested in scheduling that appointment? And I'm like, yeah. So I started using it, and it works great. And they're just like, no, not this time. Or they'll be like, oh yes, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot when we were messaging, my kid threw up. It's always like something super random, has nothing to do with me. And that's probably the case, David, or Joni, whichever one it is, whoever typed that, either one of you. That's probably the case. It's 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with you or your offer or what it is that you're doing. It has everything to do with whatever is happening right in front of their face, maybe they just spilled water all over their laptop and they're like, crap, crap, crap. And they totally forgot about the conversation that were happening. So I wouldn't worry about it. Don't do yourself a favor and do not let things like that live in your head space for very long. I mean, truly, Pam, she even said it this morning about, she says, don't let people live rent free in your brain. Right. She says it all the time. She was like, I don't know if you guys ever heard me say this. Don't let them live rent free in your brain. I go, oh my God, Pam, I've never heard you say that. She's literally said it probably at least once a week for the 14 years that I've been in Tupperware, but it's true. Don't let people get in your head like that and get you to start second guessing what you're doing. Because you know what, if on the slim chance that person is kind of like whatever, and they're copying an attitude behind their phone, right? If there is a person that's doing that has anything, just like when somebody treats you badly, it has more to do with them than it has to do with you. So you keep moving forward and you just say, who's next? And like I said, go down your friends list, see who's active on Facebook, move on to the next person, but don't let it get into your heart and don't let it get into your head when somebody kind of does that. Gina says, I have a small notebook I carry in my purse just for that purpose. For maybe later. Yeah, I'm with you, Gina. Yes, word choices. Yay. Yes, that helps. Yes, absolutely, Joni. Absolutely. You're too amazing of a person to let something like that slow you down. All right. So what I will do is some of these, sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's been a really hectic day. My brain's kind of going 1,000 different directions. Okay, so here is the bottom line. Our job is to educate. That's literally our job. It is their job to make the decision. It is our job to educate them as to what their options are. And so I have 2 assignments for you. So the first assignment is to reach out to people on your list that are people that make you feel good, that you have fun with, right? Reach out to those people. And here's a great example. Say you've been in Tupperware a while. So for me, anybody's even been in Tupperware 6 months. If you've been in Tupperware a month, it doesn't matter, right? Something you can easily say to circle back. All right. Something you can easily say is, hold on, I jotted it down because I knew my brain was going to dump on me tonight. Something you can easily say to somebody, and I use this again, this is the beginning. You can use this, the beginning of this with practically anything. I owe you an apology. I owe you an apology. I realized the other day, I haven't offered for you to open your own Tupperware account with me. And it's only $15. And then you can order online with your discount. And I can show you just how to do that. All right. And so that's something you can say to one of your friends, right? Somebody who, makes you happy, is fun and all that stuff. And if you haven't asked them, you could say, oh my gosh, I owe you an apology. I just realized I haven't offered for you to open your Tupperware account yet. Right. And so, so that's what I say when I'm trying to reach out to somebody that I've never reached out to before. And I don't know why I've never reached out to them, or maybe up until this moment, I was afraid. Right. I make it seem like it was an oversight on my, not like, well, I've asked everybody else and now I'm asking you because everybody's okay. Because nobody wants to be like the last person. Oh, you're asking me to the party because nobody else is coming. I see. I'm like the B list. So that's an easy way to kind of transition into that. I owe you an apology. I just realized the other day I haven't asked you to date a party, open a Tupperware account. That can work with anything. Okay. So, so that's assignment number 1, is to reach out to the people on your list that you have fun with and just offer for them to open an account with you. All right. It's $15. And then assignment number 2 is to reach back out to past hosts, customers, and guests at parties that were fun. Right. And again, you could just be like, oh my gosh, how are you? I was thinking about our party we had last spring and it was so much fun. How have you been? And open the conversation that way. Don't come blasting in the door with some sort of a marketing, with your agenda. Don't come blasting in the door with your agenda. Start the conversation. And then you could say, you know what? I owe you an apology. I realized that after your party, I forgot to offer for you to open your own Tupperware account for $15. That's still, you're still eligible for that. Oh, right there. Like that. Yeah, you still qualify for that. You're still entitled to that. Those are really good words. Okay. You're still entitled to that. So we could get that open for you today for $15 plus tax. And then I can show you exactly what to do to place your own orders, right? So when you catch yourself overthinking, these assignments are the next 24 hours. That's it, 24 hours. All right. So, okay, 24 hours. By midnight tomorrow night, whatever your time is, Garrett's like, oh, wait, I'll be done by 7. No, midnight your time, Garrett. So by midnight your time tomorrow night, do these assignments, reach out. Don't worry about whether or not anybody says yes, but do the work, because that's where you're going to get the confidence. Because you're like, you know what? Nobody said yes to me, but I did that. And I was scared to do it. And I did it anyways. All right. So when you catch yourself starting to overthink, turn off your brain and just do the assignments. Seriously, turn off your brain and follow the instructions. Do the things. All right. And then report your results to your upline, or report them to me, because I'm invested and I think it's kind of fun. So, so feel free, report to me and your upline, or whoever. Maybe I am your upline. Doesn't matter. All right. We're all uplines. We're all in this together. Right. All right. Does anybody have any questions about anything? You can come off mute, say what you think, put it in the chat. Just made you guys big again. When I'm using my notes, I squish you guys down on the bottom of the screen. Everybody's so tiny. All right. Nothing. Very helpful. Thank you, Christy. The word choices you gave are awesome. Awesome. Good, Sudie. Okay, so what I do also with word choices is, see if I have it right here in my drawer. Because I have so much stuff in here. I use index cards. I have these really cool ones. They're in the back of my drawer. I'm trying to get them out. Oh, these aren't them. Okay, so these aren't the ones that I like, but I use index cards, like a bigger size index cards, and I put like those starters. You know, I owe you an apology, ... You know, things like that. And so I use like little starters there, and I keep them someplace, like, so I have a paper planner, right? And so I keep stuff like that in the front or back of my planner, so that I can have those sort of like word starters, you know, like we did with the before Tupperware statements. And we talked about before Tupperware, blah, 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 and then said, if I could show you a way to solve whatever the problem is, would you be interested, you know, in learning more or whatever. I put little like starters or enders like on notepad, on like little cards like that. And then I just keep them handy. So then in case my mind kind of dumps, right, I can do something like that. Yeah. David wants me to explain better. If they sign up for 15, are they a rep and get a discount, or a recruit? What if they don't realize they're becoming a rep? Oh, talk to them. Yeah. I mean, I do. I mean, I keep all that stuff. You want to be completely upfront with people. And so I tell them, and so here's what I say. And Pam taught me this 14 years ago. And I say it almost every time when somebody's signing up for a discount, or I'm like really pitching the discount, right? And I'll say, so here's the thing. When you open your account for $15, the best part, you know, you're going to get your discount. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. The best part is, should you down the road decide that you want to work this as a business, you can upgrade your account free of charge at any time. Right there. And it's so funny because I said that to so many people when they got started, that we would be at meetings and I would train on it, and there'd be people in the crowd and they're like, you said that to me. And somebody's like, how do they update? Like people would ask, how do they upgrade their account? I was like, you don't, you could, they're upgrading their mind to work the business. All right. But seriously, I am always upfront about that. And you know, that is part of it, that does come with it. And so, and that's how I say it. And I'm like, hey, and also the coolest thing about opening an account with Tupperware, should you decide, you know, life changes every 90 days. So should you decide, you know, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, that you are, that you're interested in earning some money, you can absolutely upgrade your account at free of charge at any time, and we can get you rolling right away. I can ask to unmute. That's all I can really do. I can't actually unmute somebody. You got it?
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, David, you're on.
So my question is, so if a customer hooks on for $15
Yes.
and they get the 25% discount, at any time that they can upgrade and it won't cost them that much?
It's nothing. It's, yeah, I mean, like when you pay the $15, you are a rep, right? You're a consultant. And so you can either buy or you can sell. So you can buy stuff at a discount or you can sell stuff and make a commission. And so that's where I say, you can upgrade your account free of charge at any time if you decide you want to sell. Upgrading their account is just telling us that they want to sell, and then we plug them into the meetings and things like that.
Okay.
Get it?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because we had one person that was kind of interested in it.
Actually, two.
We had two people that were interested in it, but the kit was the scary part. They didn't have the $100. And then we said, we can sign you on for the 15, but then we were reading through the book or wherever, and it says you couldn't upgrade at that point.
Well, no, you can't get the $119 kit.
Yes.
But there's still.
Yeah. Once you sign up, you can't go and buy a kit. That's like a one-time deal.
Yeah.
Like when you're signing up, you either do the kit or you do the 15. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they both wanted to get the product, but they weren't ready to spend the money for that yet.
Yeah. So here's what I do for that is when somebody is interested in signing up, they want the kit, but they don't have the money. I offer them to do a book party, collect the orders, and they need $400 in orders. That'll get them $100 in commission. And that's what pays for it.
And some raspberries and blueberries with whipped cream.
Okay.
You good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, we're good. Thank you, Ellen.
Use the Confident Start program and get it free.
Absolutely. Yes, Gina. Yeah. They could use the Confident Start program and get a lot of those products, some of the products that are in the kit, like that for free. Yep. You got it. You got it. Awesome. These are really great questions. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I don't want you to have any questions about, and if you do have something pops up in your head later, just message me or message your upline leader. They'll be able to walk you through it. Or if maybe something I said isn't quite clicking yet, that's okay. I'm the same way. What if you already did a party for someone wanting the kit, didn't reach 400 and still don't have the money? I tell them to keep collecting orders. Yeah, that's a good question. I've had people do that. I never front the money for people to get started. I just don't. I don't think it's not very duplicatable. And so I don't want anybody to kind of start off under that impression that maybe they have to front the money for people. So, but yeah, that's a great question because it happens. It definitely happens, Christy. If you did the party and they didn't reach the 400 and they still don't have the money, just figure out how much more they need and be like, hey, keep collecting orders. I'll give you, if you're doing the work and collecting the orders, I'll give you the commission and you'll be able to get started with that, so that's a great question, Christy. Awesome. We have so many Christies. I love it. We all need to go recruit a Christy because so far they've been very successful. All right. Let's hear. So can you explain a little about the party thing a little bit more? Sure. So in like when I got started, I did this in the beginning. We didn't have a $15 kit. Our only option was like a $100 kit. That was all there was. Right. And I didn't even have the $100 to get started. I had to borrow it from like money I had set aside for the gas bill. And I know not everybody's going to do that because they don't have the faith. So after I had my first month in the business, I was so pumped about like how amazing it went that I was like, everybody needs to do this. Like, and I was just like on a mission. I was just like, this is the best kept secret. Everybody needs to sell Tupperware. You can make so much money. This is just amazing. And so I would tell people, I would say, you know, I always told that and I still to this day say, if you have a will, we can find a way. Right. And so if they came to me and they're like, I want to get started, but I don't have the money, I'm like, okay, host a party, and you collect the orders when we get to and I treat it like a launch party, right? And so I just would go and like do the demo. That's all I would really do and provide whatever. So for a virtual party, you would just be running the party, right? They're collecting the orders and all that stuff. And for a virtual party, I wouldn't have a link for them to be able to shop from, just have them collect the orders through Messenger or whatever. That way it keeps it nice and easy, because if they're not in the system yet, they don't have a website for people to collect, you know what I mean? So just keep it simple and don't give them that option. And so have them collect the orders. And when they get to, I mean, it's $119. So it would be a little bit more than $400 party. But when they get to that, they keep the commission for that. So, and then that's their money to get started. You're just working that night for them, basically, you know, so that night you're working, you're not necessarily getting paid, or you can make yourself the host. That's something you work out with the person. It gets hairy when you start to like, you're going to get this and I'm going to get that. And it gets really complicated. I like to start people off as simple as possible. I don't like there to be a lot of gray area, because I want them to do the same thing when they start recruiting people as well. So I'm always just like, I'm working for you this night. This is how much I believe in this business. I want you to get started. If you need to earn that, then I'm working for you tonight. So I'm just going to be, you know, doing the posting. I'm going to be doing the demonstration. You collect the orders. Let's do our best to get it to 450 or whatever it takes to get to that 119 for them that they need, and just kind of go from there. Does that make sense? And if you have more questions around it, please reach out. We're getting ready to, their topic is going to be starting here in the next 5 or 10 minutes. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. You guys are fun. I like it. These were good questions. Please, anytime you have a question around something that you're wanting to accomplish in your business and for some reason it's not working out, reach out. You know, we are here to help you, but we can't read minds. So if you're struggling, if we could read minds, that would be kind of awesome. Maybe weird. So if you're struggling, reach out, because we can't, you know, we can only help you if we know there's a problem. And there's so many ways to do this. There's so many ways to work this business. There's so many ways to help you accomplish your goals. We will figure out the right roadmap for you. So absolutely. Awesome, everybody. So you know your assignments. Report back to me or your upline or both. All right. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. We're on a break. You can go to the bathroom. We'll just leave the Zoom on. Is that okay, Amy? Amy and Jessica? Yeah.
It's a little easier for Lois to post the recording if we end it and jump back on.
Okay. All right.
If that's okay. So we'll see you guys back in a few.